Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. We'll be spending the next hour and a half together in what we call the boot camp, the weekly boot camp. The idea is that we do some intensive practice once a week, with the idea that you would continue to practice on your own, either by following the recording or just do whatever piece that suits your need. No doubt many of you are following the walking monks, the monks that are walking for peace. They had just crossed the border of Alabama and Georgia, continue the way a little bit around halfway now to the destination, which would be Washington, D.C. And no doubt many of you noticed that many of the monks were walking barefoot, and they typically don't eat dinner. So they would have a breakfast and then a lunch, and then they walk all day, somewhere between 26 to 28 miles a day. And then they actually don't eat dinner. This is their tradition. And and then you will notice that when they get to their destination or when they make a stop in the middle, a lunch stop, they will start with a prayer, a chanting in Pali, mainly to take refuge with what we call the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and then the Sangha. And then they would go into a lengthy meditation, what we call the metta meditation. And they don't actually just meditate when they get to a destination, they meditate while they're walking. Barefoot is actually a meditation technique by not only being in touch with the earth, but it's actually what we call the meditation on sensation, what we've been doing here for many, many months now, where you feel the pain, you accept that pain, and then you let go of the pain and never let that pain mesticize into suffering. So we're going to be doing our breathing exercise today, which is meditation on our breath, and we're going to be um, doing a little longer metta meditation at the end, not as long as what the monks do, but a little bit longer with a little bit of explanation on how we would do a loving kindness meditation. All right, so we're going to start by doing some joint exercise. The idea is that when we do the practice of the breath, we're activating actually our autonomous nervous system. When we breathe in, we would lower the diaphragm, entering into the fight or flight, releasing stress hormone to reduce inflammation. And then we will spend equal time as we breathe out. And when we breathe out, we lift up the diaphragm. And actually, this is really profound because when we talk about chi, we talk about the breath, but we also talk about the life energy. The two are actually connected. And so as we breathe with the diaphragm, we're activating the energy channel. And one of the first things we want to do is we want to relieve the blockage of the energy channel, and mainly on the joints. So I want you to examine your joints, examine the wrists, examine the elbow, examine the shoulder. We're going to be doing joint exercise. We're also going to be taking that opportunity to practice on what I call the mindfulness of the sensation. So before we do anything, let's come back to the body. I want you to locate the very bottom of your spine. I want you to anchor your mind on the bottom of the spine. I want you to move up the spine as if you're moving from joint to joint. And every time, I want you to stretch the spine as you're relieving the pressure on the what we call the disc in between the joints. As you move up, I want you to stretch the spine as hard as you can, as if you're hanging the spine on the ceiling. And then I want you to lean back and pay attention as you lean back. You're going to get a feeling that you're going to be falling off, but you're not. And then I want you to relax, putting all the weight of the upper torso on your spine. Feel the lightness in your body because you have relieved the dependence on the muscle. And then I want you to focus on your shoulder. I want you to lift up your shoulder, lift it up as high as you can. And then I want you to open the shoulder as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. And then I want you to drop the shoulder, relax the shoulder. Now, this exercise mainly relieve the tension on your shoulder and the muscle around the chest area. Because if you don't breathe with your diaphragm, then you're breathing with the muscle that are around your shoulder, creating a lot of stress. Now, I want you to locate your forehead. I want you to anchor your mind on your forehead. I want you to lean back and feeling that you're relieving stress again on your neck muscle. Lean back until your ears on top of the shoulder, putting the weight of the head on the spine. And then I want you to tuck in the chin slightly. So the top of the head is now on top of your central nervous system. Now I want you to locate the center of your palm, anchor your mind on the center of your palm. I want you to lift up the hand very slowly, very mindfully, all the way up to the shoulder. I want you to focus now on the wrist. I want you to turn your wrist very slowly. And then I want you to identify the beginning and the end of each turn. We're going to be talking about something called parami or paramita. The idea is that as we practice, some of the goodness in our practice can be grouped into these paramita. One of the paramita is called determination. That is, when you do something, you have to ask yourself, is this something that is worthy doing? If it's worthy doing, then I'm going to focus my energy on it. So that at the beginning of each turn, you examine your mind, make sure your mind is on the wrist, and then you say to yourself, I'm going to practice my determination paramita. I'm going to follow my wrist from the beginning all the way to the end. Once you get to the end, it's time to practice your diligence paramita, meaning that I'm going to do another one. By the way, the next one is going to be at least as good as the first. No falling back. I'm going to keep my mind on my wrist, one turn at a time. Now I'm going to turn the other hand, the hand the other way. Again, there's a beginning and an end. As we turn, we're going to focus on the change of sensation on the wrist. We're going to examine the change, asking ourselves, is there any heat, any sweat, any numbness, any pain, any kind of sensation? Some of which would be pleasant, some of which would be unpleasant. Now we're going to lower our hand by come back to the center of the palm, bring down the hand the same way we brought it up. Now we're going to come back to the spine, stretch the spine, lift up the shoulder, lean back, open the shoulder, relax the shoulder, relax the spine. Now we're moving from the wrist to the elbow. Once again, anchor our mind on the center of a palm. I'm going to bring up the hands very slowly, very mindfully, all the way up to shoulder level. Now we're going to focus on our elbow. Again, one turn at a time. Again, practicing both the determination and the diligence. Determination is at the beginning, diligence is at the end. One turn at a time. One turn at a time, as if you're taking it one step at a time. One turn at a time. Now we're going to turn the other hand, that hand the other way. Again, focus on the sensation, the change of sensation in the elbow. Completely focus on that. One turn at a time. One turn at a time. Now we're going to lower our hands, same way we brought it up. Focus on the center of your palm. Back to the spine now. Stretch your spine. Now to the shoulder. Lift up the shoulder. Open that shoulder. Lean back the upper torso. Drop the shoulder. Relax the shoulder. We're going from the wrist to the elbow and now to the shoulder. I want you to focus on the center of the palm. I want you to bring up the hand, crossing the hand this time, but following the palm, the center of the palm just the same, now in front of you. Now on top of you, I want you to point the fingers towards the ceiling and stretch the spine as hard as you can. And then before you come down, I want you to anchor your mind on the center of your palm, turn the palm outward, feel the stress on the wrist, and then open the shoulder, and then feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the pain by anchoring your mind back onto the center of your palm. Let go of that pain, and then stretch as hard as you can. Open the shoulder, feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of that pain. Anchor your mind on the center of your palm. Lift it up. Stretch. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let's do it one more time. Anchor your mind on the center of your palm. Stretch. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the pain. Now we're going to turn the other way. Focus on your center of your palm now. Open first. Stretch. Bring it back down. Open first. Stretch. Bring it back down. Open first. Stretch. And then bring it back down. One last time. Open first. Stretch. And then bring it back down. Completely focused. Completely anchoring your mind on the center of your palm. Now we're going to do front and back. So stretch again. Open the shoulder again. Lean back. Relax. Focus on the center of your palm. Bring your hand up in front of you, on top of you. Now open the shoulder as hard as you can. Feel the pain. Don't be afraid of the pain. Confront the pain. Feel the pain. Accept that pain. And then let go of the pain. Again, feel the pain. Accept that pain. Let go of the pain. Again, open the shoulder as hard as you can. Feel that pain. Don't be afraid of it. Accept it. And then let it go. One last time. Open that shoulder. Feel it. Accept it. And then let it go. Back to the center of your palm. Sit up straight. Now we're going to do back to front. Hands all the way to back, as far back as you can. Lift it up. Stretch. Come down. Focus on the center of your palm. All the way back. Bring it up. Stretch. Bring it back down. All the way back. Stretch. And then bring it back down. All the way back. Stretch. And then bring it back down. Now we'll continue to do a meditation. That was a meditation. That was just like a walking meditation, except that we're doing it while we exercise. Whether you're exercising or you're walking, you're practicing mindfulness in motion. And when you practice mindfulness in motion, it's all about the body. Just like the monks. When they walk, they take it one step at a time. They're completely focused on the bottom of their feet. They feel the pain, they accept that pain, and then they let go of the pain. Never let that pain metastasize into suffering. They stay focused. And then when they sit down, or when they lie down at night, or when they stand, then they're focusing on the breath, one breath at a time. Before we do anchoring on a breath, we do something very simple, an entry point, a stepping stone called knowing. I know I'm breathing in. I can feel my body changes as I breathe in. I know I'm breathing out, one breath at a time. Just like the body, just like the joint exercise, there's a beginning and an end. Beginning is when you breathe in, then is when you breathe out. The end is the beginning of the beginning, and then they breathe in again. It's a cycle. So we're staying focused on the breath. In the beginning, we practice determination, paramita, focusing on the breath, following the breath. And when we get to the end, we practice our diligence paramita, asking ourselves to commit to another one at a time. Okay, we're going to continue with exercise. We got three more. The next one is called the double blade. It's a extension of what we did. It continues to be a joint exercise, mainly on the shoulder. But this time we're going to learn to use a left brain and a right brain. And when we let go, we're actually switching. Okay? All right. So back to our spine, stretch, lift up our shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Let's put a left hand in front. We stretch out our right hand, stay focused. We focus on the center of the palm on the right hand side, meaning that we're using a left brain. We're moving the hand across, following the center of your palm, making a nice big circle. And then we're going to open that shoulder. We're going to feel that shoulder, feel the pain on the shoulder. We're going to accept that pain. And then we're going to let it go by switching from the right to the left, using the right brain now, focusing on the left. Bring it around. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Accept that pain. And then let it go by switching again to the other side of the brain. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight. Left hand slowly, mindfully. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Now to the right. Well, two more times. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight, left hand. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. And then come back to the breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Okay, that's a little trick. So not only do you have to practice confronting the pain, feeling that pain, accept that pain, and there's a little trick, which is how do you let it go? Well, guess what? God gave you two brains, one on the left, one on the right. One is emotional and one is more rational. So if the pain is rational, try to let it go by using the other side. Make it a more, um, right? If the pain is rational, let it go emotionally. And most of the pain is emotion anyway. Let it go logically. Now we're going to go to the next exercise, which is a little bit more energetic, getting ourselves ready for a sitting meditation. Again, we come back to the spine, stretch your spine, lift up our shoulder, open our shoulder, lean back, and then relax. This one is called throwing the shoulder, throwing the fist or throwing the shoulder. We're going to lift up our right hand, focus on the center of your palm, make a soft fist. Following the fist, go one, back, feel the vibration, up, come back, sit up straight, down, down, sit up straight, up, up, sit up straight, down, down. One more time, up, up, down, down. Two hands, focus on the center. One, come back, feel the vibration. Two, three, four, and five. Come back to the breath. So if I have to use one word for what we do here, it would be called healing. How do we heal ourselves? Most of the problem we have as modern people has to do with something called autonomous disorder. We tend to be stuck on fight or flight. And healing means that we need to maintain that harmony between fight or flight, where we actually release stress hormone, cortisol, which is very good. It's a steroid, natural steroid that we relieve inflammation in the body, chronic inflammation. But then, as soon as we do that, we need to come back to the rest and digest to restore the sensitivity to this stress hormone. The problem we have these days is that we don't know how to maintain that harmony. So, therefore, we have too much stress hormone, and we get to a point where we develop something called cortisol resistance. The body can no longer heal itself. So, not only are we healing, but we're activating the self healing. Let the body heal itself. Let the body heal itself, right? Modern medical science, not just medical science, but the whole health maintenance science, this industrial complex, always try to find problems and always try to find ways of selling you solutions. Oh, take this, take that, this, inject that, cut this off. The body is fully capable of repairing itself. You just have to give it a chance, right? But it's not just healing of the body, it's healing of the mind. So you notice that these monks, when they get a chance to sit down with the people who welcome them, all walks of people, right? They're walking from Texas to Alabama and now to Georgia. This is areas called what we call the Black Belt. People who live in this area are typically less well off. Very simple people, hand to mouth. Almost all of them are religious. They go to church on the weekend. You can tell. But yet they come out. They come out because they can sense the healing. What's that for? Well, how does that work? They don't bring any tools or anything. They heal you with the compassion and the loving kindness. We all have that. I talk about the sun and the cloud. We're all capable of loving kindness and compassion and empathy and equanimity. It's just that we got too distracted. And these monks, they're doing the simple thing, which is to bring you back from the distraction, just paying attention to your breath. And in their presence, you can feel the energy within them. It breaks down all barrier. That's healing. And that's what we're going to do also. So that was an energetic exercise. Now I'm going to spend some equal time on a restorative exercise by relaxing our body by activating our vagus nerve, which is mainly from the back down all the way around inside the stomach. So we're going to be doing some shoulders stretching, some back stretching, as well as some abdominal breathing. So I want you to come back, stretch, lift up your shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Now I want you to take your thumb, put that in front of your shoulder, roll up the four fingers. I just want you to focus on your elbow. I want you to lift up your elbow, meaning that you're lifting up your upper torso, lifting up your shoulder as if you're bringing your shoulder to your ears. I want you to continue to listen to your elbow, and this time I want you to point your elbow back, opening the shoulder, feel this as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. Now I want you to drop that shoulder, everybody relax. And then finally, I want you to point the shoulder, I don't mean shoulder, I mean elbow. Point the elbow forward, looking down now. As you lift up your elbow, you're looking at in front. You open, you're looking slightly towards the ceiling. As you come down, all the way down, you're looking down again. Now I want you to close your eye and just feel your body as you stretch, taking a deep breath all the way until you open your shoulder. I want you to continue to be relaxed, breathing out as you look down, Breathe in, breathe out. I want you to be completely relaxed. I want you to be unitask, not multitask, meaning that your mind has to be on your body, on your breath, following your elbow. Second thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to have any kind of expectation. I want you to close your eye, just focus on yourself, open, breathe out, pointing the elbow forward, bring it up, breathe in, and then breathe out, bring it back down, all the way down. Let's do two more. Breathe in, and then breathe out. One last time. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Now, drop everything. We're going to start to do some meditation. Sitting meditation now, which means that we're anchoring our mind on the breath. So I want you to come back to your posture, stretch the spine as hard as you can, lean back, relax. Lift up your shoulder, open the shoulder as hard as you can, drop your shoulder, relax. Lean back the forehead so the ears on top of the shoulder, tuck in your chin slightly so the top of the head is on top of your spine. Relax your forehead, relax in between your eyebrow, relax your eyelid. Close your eye, but don't shut it, just let it go. Relax. So you might actually see some light coming through your eyelashes. We call that lower the blind, lower the drapes. Imagine you're closing the window, you're lowering the drapes. Now I want you to take the tip of the tongue and put it behind your teeth, right where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth. Close your mouth. You feel the wetness inside of you right away because you're activating your saliva gland, which means that you're now in rest and digest. A lot of you have to drink a lot of water all day long because you didn't have any saliva. The reason you didn't have any saliva is because you were in fight or flight. That's the first thing it does, turn off your saliva. Saliva is actually the signal to the rest of your body to maintain digestion, maintain immunity, and maintain your reproduction. I want you to think about self-hydration, focusing on your body, focusing on your breath. Start with knowing. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now we're going to go anchoring, going from knowing to anchoring. We anchor our mind on our belly button. We continue to feel our breath. When you feel that you're breathing in, try to open your stomach by taking your belly button and bringing your belly button forward. If you can't do it physically, do it mentally. Just relax. When you feel that you're breathing out, try to close your stomach by bringing your belly button back. If you can't do it physically, just do it mentally. Eventually, your body will follow. One breath at a time. Again, there's a beginning and an end. Beginning is when you breathe in, and is when you breathe out. I want you to practice your paramita. Practice your determination when you breathe in. Stay focused on your breath. And when you finish, when you're at the end of the cycle, breathing out, I want you to remind yourself and practice your diligence paramita by saying, that was a good one. I'm so proud of myself. I bet I can do another one. Let me do another one. At least as good as the first one. No falling back. Okay? So let's do this for, um, we can do this, we can afford to do this for 5 minutes today, okay? All right, 5 minutes, focusing on your breath. Now, what you're going to find is that the mind is not disciplined enough to stay focused for all 5 minutes. No way. You'd be lucky if you stay focused for 1 minute or even 30 seconds. You have to accept that as normal. Okay? Practice is about developing a new habit, it's about changing yourself while accepting yourself. Accept that your mind is a monkey mind, it likes to be somewhere else. But at the same time, you're saying to yourself, I'm going to be committed to this practice because I'm committed to healing. I have enough suffering now. Let's try something else. Focus on your mind, focus on your breath, one breath at a time. Break it down. All we're doing is one breath at a time. So therefore there's a beginning and then there's an end. Beginning is when you practice your determination. And when you get to the end, after you congratulate yourself, you practice diligence. Your breath is just like your life. You do it one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. Okay? Now we're going to go to the second step. First, we're going to let go of the belly button, come back to just feeling the breath. I can feel that I'm breathing in. I feel that my stomach opens slightly. I can feel that I'm breathing out. I feel my stomach collapse slightly, ever so slightly. We're going to combine that breathing exercise with a posture. We're going to start locating our mind, putting our mind at the bottom of our spine. As we breathe in, we move up the spine. We move the spine one joint at a time, stretching our spine towards the ceiling. And then as we breathe out, we start at the top of the head, now to the forehead, now to our bridge of our nose, to the tongue, coming back to the belly button. As we do that, we lean back and relax. As we breathe in, we stretch our spine. As we breathe out, we lean back and relax. You feel the energy in you as you breathe in, rising on your spine. And then that's the beginning. And then now you feel the end of the cycle as you breathe out. I want you to feel the rise of the energy in your spine as you breathe in. I want you to accept the demise of that life energy as you breathe out with the confidence that at the end it will start again. That is the life cycle. When you were born, everybody, regardless of your age, your color, your gender, the economic status of your parents, you always take an in breath. Everybody does. And someday, your body will get to a point where you have to return everything back to the universe. And guess what? You take the out breath. So this cycle of breath is what makes up the cycle of life. There's always a beginning, and then there is always an end. In the beginning, we practice our determination pyramid. We're going to stay focused on the breath, stay focused on the body. And then at the end is when we practice diligence, one breath at a time. I want you to think about where that life energy comes from. I want you to think about what happens when you take a deep breath in like that. You're breathing in oxygen. Where does the oxygen come from? The oxygen comes from the planet Earth. It actually comes from the forest, comes from the park. There's all these beings protecting the forest, protecting the park, just so that you can have oxygen. You didn't have to pay for that. You can have as much as you need. I want you to feel a sense of gratitude as you breathe in, rising to the top of your head. And then as you breathe out, I want you to relax and feel a sense of acceptance. Let's sit for 5 minutes, meditating on a breath, meditating on a posture, and meditating on a mind. Particularly what we call kusala, wholesome. In the Buddha's teaching, there is no good or evil. There is only what's good and what's not good. What is good for you and what is not good for you. Buddhist teaching is not about judging other people. It's about accepting other people. We practice on the kusala, which are the wholesome. Wholesome starts with gratitude and acceptance. Your hate, your anxiety, all those are akusala. They're just not good for you. So that's a choice. The choice between healing yourself or continue to hurt yourself. One breath at a time. Practice on the gratitude as you breathe in, stretching your spine upward, feeling the life energy in you. And as you breathe out, feeling the dissipation of the vital energy as the oxygen serve its purpose, and the lung and the heart is now extracting the waste product, which is the carbon dioxide. And they go back to the forest, they go back to the trees, one breath at a time. Okay, let's do that for a little while longer. Then we're going to do more exercise. And then we're going to get down on the floor and do what is called pranayama, one of the 8 limbs of the yogic practice. Okay, open your eyes. Now we're going to continue with the practice, going back from into mindfulness in motion, doing some exercise, and also stretching the other part of our body that is important for healing, mainly the part that is facing the sun. And that's what we call the yang energy, all right, the energetic energy. So before we do that, we're going to take a 3 deep breath. So let's come back to a posture, sit up straight, stretch your spine, lift up a shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Now let's lock our fingers and put that in front of our belly button. We're going to take a deep breath by following the center of palm. Okay, get ready. Now you need to relax because you're trying to breathe with your diaphragm. The diaphragm, back in the days when I was an engineering professor, that material is called viscoelastic. It's not just elastic, but it's rate dependent, meaning that the faster you, if you try to force it, it will fight back. Okay. So that's why most of us don't know how to breathe with our stomach anymore, even though that was how we used to do it when we were first born, because it was only muscle we have. And we don't know how to do that anymore because as we grow older and older, we're getting more stressful, and this diaphragm gets stiffer and stiffer. And so now we have to move towards the upper part of our body using this muscle instead, creating a lot of stress. Okay, now so relax. Get ready. Breathe in. Now follow the center of your palm. Breathe out. Lock your elbow. Looking straight ahead again. Unlock your fingers. Now as if you're climbing on the mountain. Climb so you can stretch upper part of your arm and then relax. Back to the fingers, follow the palm. Breathe in, breathe out. Looking straight ahead, climb the mountain. One last time, breathe in, breathe out. Looking straight ahead, climb the mountain. Back to the fingers, palm facing up, palm facing down. Push until you lock your elbow, looking straight ahead. Bring up your hand in front, all the way up, and then stretch, push, and then lean back. Come back to the middle, push, and then entire upper torso lean to the left, stretching our spine. Come back to the middle, push to the right. Come back to the middle, push to the left. Come back to the middle. Lock your elbow though, okay? Push to the right. Come back to the middle. Now follow the center of your palm. Completely relax. Open your shoulder again. Lean back and then relax. Taking your right arm, put that on your left shoulder. Lean back so you're putting pressure on the right shoulder. Now grab the right elbow. Sit up straight. Entire upper torso stretch to the left. Come back. Sit up straight to the right. Come back to the breathing. Maintaining that harmony. Going from fight or flight. Now back to rest and digest. Now stretch again, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Taking your left hand, palm facing up. Taking your right hand, putting on the fingers and the palm. Sit up straight, bring down the hand. Focus on the elbow, lock the elbow, looking straight ahead. Bring up your elbow, palm facing forward. Sit up straight. Now, without turning your upper torso, take the left arm, bring it to the right, stretching the outside of your arm, and then relax. Right hand, bring the right hand down, push out the elbow, looking straight ahead, palm facing forward. Without turning the upper torso, take the right arm to the left, stretching the outer part of your right arm, and then relax back to the breath, one breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now open the shoulder again. Relax. Taking the right hand, palm facing up. Taking the left hand, palm facing down. Open that shoulder. Turn your wrist so they're 90 degrees. Focus on the right palm as if you're pushing the sky up. Lock your elbow. Taking your left palm, pushing down. Lock your elbow. Take your right arm, bring it back. Turn your head to the left. Stop. And then turn your eyeball as if you're looking at your back. Bring everything back. Relax. Now the other side, open the shoulder. Push. Lock your elbow. Right side, push. Lock your elbow. Bringing your left hand back. Turn your head to the right. Keep turning your eyeballs as if you're looking at your back. Bring everything back. Relax. Okay. Now we're going to be stretching the spine. The spine is obviously very important. The spine is what we call the guardian vessel. This is where all the yang energy concentrate. So I want you to stretch your spine, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Taking your hands, locking the fingers, put that at the lower back, palm facing up. Turn your hands so palm facing down. Push until you lock the elbow. Now focus on top of your head and the center of your palm at the same time. Push your hand down, but lift up your upper spine. One up, one down. Stretch as hard as you can, and then relax. Lean back your forehead, and then bring your hands up as far as you can, and then relax. Back to the breath, maintaining that harmony, ensuring that your body is capable of healing yourself by restoring the sensitivity to the stress hormone. Now open the shoulder again, lean back, relax. Taking your right hand, put that on your back. Focus on your right elbow, right shoulder. Lift up your right shoulder, and then relax. Taking the other hand, looking straight ahead. Lift up your right shoulder, and then relax. Back to the breath. Open the shoulder again. Relax. Taking your right hand, put that on your lower back. Take two fingers, point it to the right shoulder, left shoulder. Now lower your right shoulder, lift up your fingers, and then relax. The other hand, sit up straight. Lower your left shoulder and bring up your fingers. Now take two hands. Okay, whatever you can do, touch your fingers or not. Now focus on the two shoulders. Right shoulder up, left shoulder down, and then relax. The other side. Sit up straight, left shoulder up and right shoulder down, and then back to the breath. I know, breathing in. I know, breathing out. Now open the shoulder again. Sit up straight. This is called the reverse Buddha. Palm touching, fingers pointing down. Put that on your lower back. Sit up straight, looking straight ahead. Turn, so palm facing up. Bring up your hand. Try to keep the palms together. And then open the shoulder and push out your palm. One forward, one backward. Hold it. And then relax. Back to the breath. Okay, so that was stretching, just like what you do normally in a yoga class. It's just another branch of the 8 limbs of yoga practice. This one called asana. So now we're ready to do more exercise and eventually get to the breathing exercise, what we call pranayama. Okay, so we're going to continue the joints. We did the wrist, which is the same as the heel. We did the elbow, same as the knee. We did the shoulder, same as the hip. All right, so we're going to continue. So first, the knee, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now to the heel. First, the right heel up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the toes. Now this one actually requires that we stand on the toes, right? So it's actually important to really try to anchor your mind on your body, looking straight ahead, right? If your eye get off the front, then you feel a sense of your fear will come in, and when your fear comes in, then you're going to lose balance. Balancing is actually very important to prevent dementia. Okay, people talk about all the different ways you can prevent dementia, which are very good. The food you eat, exercise you do, staying active, and having company and all that. All that is important, but the most important is to practice so that you can maintain balance. It's really the working of the left brain from the right brain, right? That allows you to stay healthy, neurologically healthy. So balancing is very important. So let's stand on the toes, looking straight ahead, and then come down. You're going to impact the heel. Now, this one, from a Chinese medical standpoint, it activates your kidney energy, which is from the bottom all the way up, right? Okay, get ready. Stand on your toes, and then come back, right? So those of you who have lower back problem, it's mainly because you have kidney deficiency, kidney chi deficiency. So this exercise actually helps. Okay, now one last time, stand on your toes, and then down. Okay. All right. Now this it gets tougher. Now we're gonna stand on the left foot, looking straight ahead, balance first, and then we're gonna kick a right foot using a heel. Get ready? One, come back. Two, come back, and then three. Okay. Now stand on the right, balance first, looking straight ahead. One, two, and three. Okay. All right. Now to the hip. Hip is very important. As we age, the last thing you want is to fall. And to prevent falling, actually, you need to make sure that your hip is flexible because it's the hip that gives you the counter force. Otherwise, you're going to fall like a sack potato. All right. So how do we exercise the hip? Well, we have two, one at a time. So let's just stand on the right foot, put our hands forward. Now we're going to bring to the left foot, forming a straight line between the heel, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder. And we're going to keep turning. We're going to keep turning. Say, oh, that's the end. No, that is not the end. Keep turning. And then move back. Relax. Second time. Keep turning. You can't turn anymore? Yes, you can. Keep turning. And then forward. And then relax. Okay? Now the other side. Bring it back, forming a straight line. Keep turning forward and then relax. Second time, forward and then relax. One last time, forward and then relax. Okay, so now we're ready to do the breathing exercise. Now, keep in mind that this is a breathing exercise, not a body exercise. So the body just sets up the scenario for the breathing. Right? So I'm going to remind you that when we get to a certain point, you don't just move the body and say, that's it. No, actually, you just set up the body and then you continue to practice the breathing. Just follow. Okay. First, we're going to practice just mindfulness, following the center of a palm. Bring it up. One. Bring it towards you. Two. Bring it down. Lower your knee. And then stand up straight. Relax. As you bring up, you breathe in gently. And then as you go down, you breathe out, relax. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. One more time. In, out. Okay, now we're ready. Breathe in, crossing your hand. Okay, bring it high enough so you can follow with your corner of your eye as you open. Okay, get ready. Oh, now that was breathing in. Now breathe out. Don't stop. Don't stop. All the way out. So you see what you're doing is you're setting up the body so you can practice your breathing. And when you get to the very end, you open your chest cage and you're still breathing out, which means that now the diaphragm has to move, right? And then breathe in, breathe out. Get ready. Breathe in gently, and then breathe out. Don't stop in the middle. And then breathe in, breathe out. One last time. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, now we're gonna go 1 minute of standing meditation. Okay, 1 minute. So I said we can meditate when we sit, we can meditate when we walk, just like the monks. We can meditate when we stand. We can meditate when we lie down. Okay? All right. So now focus on your breath. Again, one breath at a time. There's a beginning and an end. Practice your determination at the beginning. Stay focused. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now you get to the end of the cycle. Time to practice your diligence. One breath at a time. Okay. Now the second form is called the balloon breathing. So right foot forward, lean back so the toes on the right foot are pointing up, looking straight ahead. Okay. Now bring up your hands high enough you can see it with the corner of your eye. And then roll forward and brace yourself. Left foot, the heel is up. You're looking 45 degree at the floor. And then you open back up, looking 45-degree at the ceiling. As you roll forward, very gently take a deep breath in. And now open. Keep breathing out. Don't stop in the middle. And then just let the body breathe in naturally. Okay, don't try to suck air in. Just let it breathe in naturally. Breathe out. Follow the center of your palm. Stay focused. Stay anchored. Breathe out. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Now stay focused on your palm. Bring it down. Going from the palm to the bottom of your feet. One step. Two step. And then now back to your breath. One breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. Again, there's the beginning and then there's the end. The end is the beginning of another beginning. So at the beginning, you practice your determination. Follow your breath all the way to the end. And then the end is the beginning again. That's when you practice your diligence. One breath at a time. Okay, now to the left foot forward. Lean back. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. In. Out. One last time. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Stay focused on the center of your palm. Bring your hands down. Going from the center of your palm to the bottom of your feet. One step, two steps. And then focus on your breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know. Breathing out. Okay. Now we'll come to the what's called the butterfly. This one is actually more evolved, right? So you notice that it gets from the simplest to the hardest. And again, we focus on the center of your palm. You bring up your hand, and then you bring down your hand, lower your knee. Then you bring it up again, standing on your toes. Stay focused, looking straight ahead until the back of the hand is touching. As you come down, you take a deep, gentle in breath. As you go up, you breathe out. You don't stop in the middle, all the way until the hands are touching, the back of the hand is touching. Again, gently breathe in, breathe out. Relax. Let the body breathe in on its own. Breathe out. In, out, in, out, in, out. One last time. In, out. Lower your hand. Follow your hand. Now go from the hand to your feet. And then going from the body back to the breath. One breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. Okay. Now do the full form, which is called push hand. So again, you stand with the right foot forward, but you don't need to lean back anymore. You just follow the center of your palm as if you're moving along the outside perimeter of a water wheel. You bring it all the way to the top. As you bring it down, you lower your body, and then you just keep focused on the center of the water wheel and you push. As you bring up, you open your shoulder, you take a deep breath in, all the way in, and then you breathe out. Open your shoulder, breathe in, bring it all the way down to the, and then you breathe out. Very gentle. In, stay focused, out. Two things you need to do. First, you stay focused, no multitasking. Second, you don't judge. You just feel the change in your body, change in your breath without judging. Don't judge others, don't judge yourself. Just feel it without judging it. I feel my body. I feel my breath. I even feel the air coming through between my fingers. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One last time. Breathe in, breathe out. Now follow the palm back. Another minute of standing meditation, focusing on your breath. Okay, now to the left. Get ready. Breathe in, breathe out. Completely relax. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. One at a time. Follow your hand. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Open your shoulder. Breathe out. Come back. This is the last 1 minute standing meditation. Okay. The last one is very important for your longevity, very important for increasing your health span, not necessary, not just the lifespan. Lifespan is not as important as health span. And health span is indicated by one of the indicators is how well you adjust to the change of gravity. And most people, when they move quickly like this, they have lightheaded, and that's because the adrenal gland is overworked. You're in fight or flight all the time to the point where the adrenal gland, which puts out the stress hormone, just give up. And so the problem is that when you actually need it, it's not there. And you need the stress hormone when you have a quick change in your center of gravity. Okay, so that's why a lot of people they stand up quickly and they say, "Oh, like this." That's a problem. Okay. All right. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, skip this one or put a chair next to you. Okay. Now get ready. Breathe in. Breathe out. Push your back forward, and then breathe in. Lean back all the way, and then relax. Okay. Second time. Breathe out. Breathe in and then relax. One last time. Breathe out. Breathe in and then relax. Okay. Now we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a loving kindness meditation, what we call metta. So the four characteristics of a practice of enlightenment is loving kindness, compassion, empathy, and equanimity, no judging. Right? That's the beauty of the Buddhist teaching, is that we're not here to judge. We're not here to judge. We're here to accept. And that's why when you see these monks, they're not preachers. They don't try to convert you, right? They're not even that religious. There are some rituals, right? They like to walk on the barefoot. They like to eat with their hands. They like to skip dinner. They like to chant wherever they can. And I like the idea of just talking to people, right? Asking you to let go of your suffering. Kind of crazy bunch. All right, so I want to come back to this posture. Sit up straight, open your shoulder, lean back, relax. Let's start with the breath again. Always come back to a breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now, before we practice loving kindness, we need some building blocks. So we need to come back to our gratitude and our acceptance. These are the two important building blocks. Always start with yourself. You're here not to change others. You're here just trying to change yourself. Give yourself a chance to heal. Give give yourself a chance to maintain the self-healing power that you already have. So start with yourself. Feel your body, feel your breath, and start with being very grateful with this body, very grateful with your health. And now start to think about your parents, who just happens to be your parents. You could have other people as your parents, but the fact that they were your parents, the fact that you were brought up hopefully with loving kindness, I bet you can extend this love to your parents. Some of you might not have loving parents for whatever reason, but I bet you grew up with someone else. Could be your grandparents, could be your foster parents. It doesn't matter. When you were young, when you were not able to protect yourself, someone did protect you. Maybe not long enough, but at least they did what they can. So, in addition to being very grateful to your own existence, let's be grateful for those who help us when we needed help. Be grateful to our immediate family, our spouse, our significant others. Grateful for the love, grateful for the caring. If you have children or grandchildren, be grateful to them. Children are great teachers. They taught us what it means to be human beings. Be grateful to our siblings. Many of them have their own problems. We might not be friends with our siblings, But at least we grew up together. We're grateful to our friends. We're grateful to our fellow students. We're grateful to our neighbors. We're grateful to our first responders. We're grateful to our teacher. There's a lot to be grateful for. Now think about all the things that we might have done wrong, or that if we had a chance again, we would have done it better. Well, you got to accept that. Accept that at the time, you did the best you can. And think about whether you intention or not intention, you might have hurt someone. Maybe simple things, maybe very, very severe wrongdoing. Maybe it's time to let that go. Maybe it's time to forgive yourself for that wrongdoing that you have done to others. You can't hold on to that forever because you did the best you can. If you had the chance again, you would do better. That's it. Now think about all the hurts that other people have done to you. Time to let that go too. Maybe it's time to forgive them too. Now that you have done your gratitude and your acceptance and your forgiveness, is it time yet to wish them well? Maybe it's time to wish yourself well. I wish for myself to be happy, to be healthy, and to be peaceful, especially from within. I wish my parents to be healthy, to be happy, to be peaceful, especially if they have passed away. I wish for them to be peaceful in the next life. I wish for the rest of my family, whether they are my spouse, my significant others, my children, my siblings, anyone that I'm actually related, I wish them to be healthy, to be happy, and to be peaceful. I wish the same for my neighbors, even though they might have caused me pain. I wish for my fellow citizens who lives in the same city, same state, in the same country, even though they might have voted for the wrong person. I forgive them. I wish them happy, healthy, and peaceful. I wish for all the beings in this planet Earth, whether they're human or not human, whether they're visible or not visible, whether they're big or small, whether they're good or evil, I too wish them to be happy, to be healthy, and finally, especially if they're evil, to be peaceful with themselves and others. May all beings be free from animosity and negative energy. Sabe Sata Avaya Hantu. May all beings be free from mental suffering. Sabe Sata Ayapaja Hantu. May all beings be free from physical suffering. Sabi Sata Alapaharitu. May all beings be full of joy and protected by positive energy. Sabi Sata Siki Atana Purihantu. May all beings be healthy, be happy, and be peaceful. Sabi Sata Siki Atana. Sabi Sata Siti Hantu. Sabi Sata Siti Hantu. Now, like the monks, let's try to do something that we haven't done here before, but they do it in every stop, which is to take refuge to the three jewels. The three jewels are Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Now, it doesn't need to be religious. The Buddha is a teacher. It can be anyone who's awakened, who's free of suffering. And he's a teacher. He's a teacher leading us on a path. That's why we call ourselves the fellow travelers. The Dhamma is the path. It's the right path. It's the path that we accept that all things are permanent, impermanent. The good things in life are impermanent, but so are the bad things. If you're suffering, you have to have the confidence that it will go away. But at the same time, things that you enjoy very much, you also have to accept that someday it will go away. That's the path. It has nothing to do with religion. It's just the way the world works. And finally, we take refuge with the Sangha. Now, most people think that the Sangha are the monks. The monks obviously have a Sangha, but so do we. Sangha is just a fellow student, is a fellow traveler. So it's customary that we take refuge with a teacher, with a path, and with a fellow student. I take refuge with Buddha. Buddham saranam gacchami. I take refuge with Dhamma. Dhamma saranam gacchami. I take refuge with Sangha. Sakam saranam gacchami. Finally, I take homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, and the fully enlightened one. Nama tassa bhagavato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. 皈依佛、皈依法、皈依僧，敬禮世尊、阿羅漢、正等正覺。I'm talking. Okay, that was a good one. All right, so pay attention to the monks. All right, they're only halfway through. They are just passing Alabama into last night. They into Georgia, so it's a long way to go, and I'm very afraid of them. For them, anything can happen to them. And you notice that everywhere they go, the law enforcement are trying to protect them, right? We don't want anything to happen to them, right? You know what can happen. Some crazy people will come to hurt them. Anyway, let us take one last blessing. Let's bless Aloka, the walking dog. I love him. I wish for Aloka to be healthy, to be happy, and to maintain as peaceful as he is. Namaste. Okay, 聽日見。
Thank you.
OK，聽日喺大概喺花花子見嚇。OK，
多謝 Danny。
OK，多謝大家。OK，拜拜。多
感
謝你哋嘅
恩Danny
支持。
師兄。
OK，多謝你哋支持。OK，拜拜。